Hello, everyone. Let's see. Am I?
Hello, everyone.
Yep, I'm on. Okay. Once again, today we're going to be talking more about Blootsburgh with Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft. It's zoomed in a lot because my glasses broke yesterday, so I'm getting those fixed. And until then, I'm going to have to be zoomed in on everything. I'm at like 170 or something like that. My eyesight, I'm at 200%, and that's still a little fuzzy, so my eyesight is abysmal. Anyway, once again, the music will be provided by Mark Vandermeulen. I didn't get any notes that anything went wrong with doing that, so I didn't see a reason to not do it again, because this music is pretty good. And this time we're going to go a little higher than we did last time, I think, on the volume. As it turns out, what sounds really loud to me is a lot lower for other people, I think. You just double check.
Loud to me. A lot lower.
Yeah, I can barely hear it going on. So, we are back with the God Brain of Blootsburgh. That brilliant, brilliant planning on that one's part. We're just gonna read through the rest of this. So when the God Brain closes the borders, that's where we last left off, as we had just finished this little section on closing the borders of Bluetspur. The surface of the domain will be racked by extreme electrical storms, and alien vapors rise at the domain's distant edges and within its hidden tunnels. Rather than barring creatures' escape, these mists repress memories. Any non-aberration who will leave Blutspur is transported to a familiar place, where they soon wake up, even if they weren't previously asleep. Their time in Blutspur is repressed, altered as if by the Modify Memories spell. See Recovering Memories below for more details. That's a really interesting note, I gotta say, is that it specifically translates you to a familiar place. So, my instant thought is if you're playing a Domains of Dread campaign is to remove that rule as the DM, and if a player says, I have amnesia, I don't know what's going on, I don't know where I am, you place them there, and they're from some, like, third domain, but they went to Blutspur, and that's why everything happened. And I think that is kind of the most fun way of doing it, as far as like making sure everything happens. One sec, I see... Hold on, window capture... That, and then... And then how do I get this lowered? There we go. Something was off with the window, but now it's back together. So I think with that, you'd be able to get a really fun campaign, and it allows for the Domains of Dread to be something that you spread out amongst the rest of the world, especially if you're playing with players who are very into that. So, like, you could have a player who's like, I'm a Mistwalker, I go and I travel all the time. You have this guy who's like, I don't remember anything about my past. You can have like a local who's never done it, and that way you can ground them all in their understanding of how not really Ravenloft, but instead the entirety of the Domains of Dread work. And you can have different levels of understanding between each of them. Anyway, the God Brain's Torment. The God Brain of Blutspur is an entirely unreliable cosmic entity. Who would have thought? I'm shocked. An immortal inflicted with mortality. Who'd have thought? I'm shocked. Although its death is likely still millennia away, this inevitably leads it to hastily indulge all manner of amoral extremes. Its death is still millennia away! That must feel like nothing, yeah, if you're that old, to be like, you know, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of years old. Like, if you were given a clock on your death, which was like, you have 6 months to live or something like that, that's sort of the equivalent almost. Like, it's not like the exact same, but like, if your consideration of things is in the to never die. Let's say the universe is like, not our universe, the D&D universe is like, let's say it's like 6 million years old. So you are 6 million years old, and you're told like, let's say millennia. So let's say you got 9 millennia left. That's a huge number for most of us, but for the Elder Brain, 6 million to 9,000 is not a fun number change. Anyway, role-playing the God Brain. The God Brain's influence drives the Mind Flayers beyond their domain to pursue all manner of subtle observations, bizarre experiments, repeat abductions, and visceral mutilations. They were... I would say this is possibly the weakest part, because my understanding is they're already doing that. Is it purse or pursue? That might be a... Because that's the handbag purse. Yeah, I think it's just pursue. Subtle observations, bizarre experiments, repeat abduction. Maybe the repeat... No, because I guess the repeat abductions. So, like, the change really comes in the... They're, like, picking people up and, like, throwing them back out into the world sort of thing. Anyway, adventures in Bluetspur. While Blootsburgh's otherworldly hazards and the Mind Flayer's defenses can challenge even the highest level heroes, the domain's menace proves most pernicious when it intrudes on other domains. Taking inspiration from sci-fi horror and tales of alien abduction, adventures involving Blutspur's Mind Flayers might begin anywhere with bad dreams or a stranger's impossible rantings. Over time, disappearances, inexplicable scars, subdermal implants, and unlocked memories might reveal the Mind Flayer's tentacles and wrap more than anyone thought possible. See Return to Blutspur for details on running adventures featuring lost memories, or consider developing other plots using the Blutspur Adventures table below. Characters awake within the shattered remains of a fluid-filled tube deep in Citadel subterrane. They have no idea how they arrived here. That sounds like they were picked up a long time ago and forgotten about. A cavern they were exploring seamlessly abuts with Blutspur, trapping them in caves overrun with vampiric mind flayers. Yikes. That's not great. A strange message leads characters to a silvery vessel full of alien mysteries wrecked on Blutspur's surface. The only surviving creature in the wreck is a cunning displacer beast. So they say it's a cunning displacer beast. If I were doing this, I'd make it an intelligent displacer beast, which might be what they're trying to say here. I'd give it language, I'd give it, like, thought process, and I'd have it, like, able to control what's left of the vessel, so it, like, can make traps and things happen. Characters find a strange but adorable creature trapped within an abandoned alien installation. This being is a lovable companion until it reveals itself to be a star spawn emissary. What is a star spawn emissary, and why is it not linked? Why would you link every creature, but not this one? Vampiric mind flayers are even linked, and they're in the book. Why would you not link this? And then when you click chapter 5, it linked. Nah, I say. Which one? So it starts off cute. You understand the full hungry hostility of the multiverse. Star spawn emissaries are the fingers of alien realms, digits that tip the scales of reality toward terror. Heralded by ominous astrological events, these ravenous invaders make worlds ready for unimaginable masters or distant, greater manifestations of themselves. Employing their malleable forms, emissaries work to undermine perceptions of order, trust, reality on global scales, readying worlds for sanity-shattering revelations and cascading apocalypses. Only when truly threatened, or when their foes have lost all hope, do emissaries reveal their actual impossible forms. I just read all that and I didn't even understand it. Let's see... Okay, so they're just changelings and... What's the other one that turns into people? Why is it not here in my brain? Well, whatever. They're just basically changelings who can make a form that's, like, horrifying. I don't, they say it's their actual impossible form, but looking at this, like, I'm seeing pig snout, I'm seeing, like, some kind of plant thing over here. That looks like a great ape over there, on the bright side here. And then there's tentacles all over the place, so I'm feeling it's not quite an impossible form to understand. Even that looks like human teeth-ish, almost. What's really interesting is whenever they draw us art like this... Oh, that's much smaller. Like, that looks kind of like a rabbit, almost? Some kind of creature. I don't see any of the really other, like, like, I don't see troll in here. I don't see... Like, I don't know what this is, so that might be, like, wolf or something that's got the extra long things, but I don't see, like, some of the other creatures that could be in here, like troll or something else, you know? I'm seeing most of the normal stuff. Either way, Starspawn emissaries can assume 2 forms. Oh, they get to pick! A lesser form, which is suited to infiltration, and a greater physically overwhelming form. To destroy one, the characters must reduce each of the forms to 0 hit points, one after another. Typically, they are initially encountered in their lesser form. When the form is destroyed, the body collapses into a gory slurry. It will then instantly return to its greater form. Only if the emissary is defeated in its greater form does the Starspawn die. After finishing a long rest, a greater Starspawn emissary regains its lesser form if it was destroyed. When an emissary transitions from one form to another, it loses all the traits and actions of the previous form and gains those of the new form. The accompanying stat blocks detail both of the emissary's forms. So does that mean... It's only if the greater form dies does it die. So it's not both bodies need to die, it's just the greater form needs to die. That's an important note. Starspawn Emissary's lesser form allows it to appear as any creature. Emissaries have no misplaced pride and just as steadily appear as people, animals, or other creatures. So, okay. The more unassuming, the better. Should it reveal its true form, an emissary appears as a rough bipedal mass of agitated organs, self-cannibalizing alien orifices, and appendages suggestive of forms it has previously assumed. Huh. That's why there's pig and, like, great ape gorilla, and I see a bit of tiger there now. Because it's turned into these other things to throw you off the trail. Great! Horrifying. Emissary's greater form sheds all pretense of being part of the plane's reality and openly mocks it. A destructive titan, this form rises in a 25-foot-tall pillar of violent flesh amalgamating the meat and voices of every form the emissary has ever mimicked. The voices part is what gets me. The meat, that's terrifying, but like, it's a 25-foot-tall pillar of meat. This is D&D. If you're not ready for something like that, not that you know, like you need to prep your mind if you're not ready for that to happen. Like, everything can shape change. Everything's a monster. Everything has power word kill. You just gotta go in with that assumption. It all has power word kill. Don't bother trying to defend yourself. Just hit hard. Keep moving forward. Manifestations of alien hunger erupt from this horror in waves of ravenous organs and mind-breaking psychic assaults. Yikes. So just an entire idea of hunger leaps out of it. But the voices, like I said, is what gets me. Just the constant voices is... Oh. I wouldn't be okay with hearing, like, a pig and a rabbit screeching at the same time. It's just a room full of animals screeching or braying as if in their death throes. I'm not okay with. And that's maybe not quite what this thing does, but a little bit what it does. And then here's some stats. When they drop to 0, the body melts away, and then they become the greater one. They have legendary resistances. They don't need food, water, or air, or drink. For sleep. 3 attacks, plus 11, average of 29 damage. And then the second attack, which is a ranged attack, has a better chance to hit, has way more range, and it hits for 18 damage. So, you're fighting a party, you want to stay at 120 and just keep firing this for a while. Change shape. Small or medium creature of choice back into its true form. Yeah. Its statistics are the same in all forms. Wow. So it could turn into like a small little, it could turn into a dog with... Oh yeah, hey, Funga. Yeah, D&D. We're just going through Van Richten's book. We're at Blootsburgh, but we're going through Blootsburgh Adventures, and we're checking out one of the creatures that showed up as a suggestion, which is a lesser star spawn emissary. So it can turn into anything small or medium, and its stats stay the same. An 18 is the lowest, it looks like. Yeah, so it could pretend to be an adventurer for a good long amount of time, and nobody would really question anything until it took, a hit that everyone went, you're not supposed to be able to survive that. Or it solved, an impossible puzzle. Can take 3 legendary actions. Can it talk? It has all... Okay, and telepathy 1,000. This thing doesn't need to ever transform into its main form. If it's got 25 int, it's probably very quietly doing things behind the scenes. I would pretend to be a functionary, a large kingdom, or what is it? What's its objective again? Full hungry hostility. Ready for the unimaginable masters or distant greater manifestations of themselves. Okay, so he's there to make the world ready. That's gonna be hard to beat. The changing shape is huge. Just being able to sit and say, no one sees me, and then I just hide away for years and years and years. It could easily replace the heir to the kingdom when he's a small size, which is 6 or 8 or 10, and then just run the kingdom, and then just keep building and building. There's no age on these guys. There's no reason to use their greater forms or anything like that. Unless they get assassinated somehow by someone. Literally, their threat is just people trying to jockey them out of position. Emissary can take 3 legendary actions. 1 is the Psychic Orb. Cost of 2 is the Teleportation Mod. The Emissary teleports to an unoccupied space within 30 feet of it, and then makes one of its melee attacks. So that's good. Psychic Lash. I wonder if you have to make the attack? Can make. So the teleport... This is good just because you get to teleport every round. Emissary targets a creature. It can see within 30 feet and lashes at that creature's mind psychically. TC 21 Wisdom saving throw, 8d8 psychic damage, stunned until start of next turn. Well, that's really good. Ooh. What's the challenge rating on this dude? Challenge... 19? Yeah, that makes sense. And then 21 when he gets back up. Can he also transform into anything he wants? No, he loses shape change. But he gets stronger, although less dexterous. Dexterity takes a dump. His con goes up, his int goes up. I don't know why I need more int for this. Wisdom and charisma. The time for subtle negotiations has fled. I don't know why I'm smarter. Yeah?
Go back down.
Yeah.
Unearthly bile.
Yeah. We'll see that in a sec. Where is it? Unearthly Bile. Expels bile that splashes all creatures in a 30-foot radius sphere centered on a point within 120 feet of the emissary. By the way, hi, Flatline. How you doing? Each creature must make a DC 23 dexterity saving throw. 55 damage, yes. What'd you say?
I'm fine.
Very cool. 55 acid damage on failed save, half as much on successful one. For each creature that fails the saving throw, Gibbering Mouther appears in unoccupied space on surface that can support it within 30 feet of that creature. This is how you summon allies. Gibbering Mouther act right after the emissary on the same initiative count, gaining a +7 bonus and fighting until they are destroyed. They disappear when the emissary dies. What are we looking at? Failed save for each creature that fails the saving throw. You know what a Mouther looks like. So this isn't much. Gibbering Mouthers are basically useless for a challenge rating 21 creature, but I know their abilities. It's the Aberrant Ground and the Gibbering, and you're just trying to get saving throws out on them as much as possible. That's useful.
They also get a +7 to their attack.
Yeah, but their attacks are... what was their damage? So that becomes a +9, and they can do 17 damage, 5d6. They're not... Any party that is fighting a greater Star Spawn Emissary, these things are just there to waste your actions. Like, they've got... What was it? We've got 67 health. A fighter's going to have to take like a full round taking one of those out. So if like 3 people all miss their saves, they're going to have to fight a few of them or something. 4 legendary resistances a day, gets more powerful. Doesn't need any air, food, drink, or sleep. Emissary makes 3 attacks. Lashing Maw is more powerful, I believe, by like 3 or 4 points. And then Psychic Orb is more powerful by a good margin. And then the Unearthly Bile ability, which is good. Emissary can take 3 legendary actions. One is to attack. You just teleport 30 feet to an unoccupied space and make 1 attack. A much more powerful version of what the lesser one has. That's good. Warp Space. Emissary causes the ground in a 20-foot square that it can see within 90 feet of it to turn into teeth and maws until the start of its next turn. The area becomes difficult terrain and any creature takes 3d6 piercing damage for each 5 feet it moves on that terrain. That's good. I like that ability. And then the Mind Cloud. Unleash a Psychic Wave. Everyone within 30 feet of the emissary must succeed on a DC 23 Wisdom save or take 5d12 psychic damage. In addition, every spell ends on creatures and objects of the emissary's choice in that area. Ah, that's a good one. Every spell ends. That's just useful. So yeah, Starspawn's pretty powerful. Not meant to be fought lightly, though. Back to Blootsburgh. An acquaintance of the characters complains of reoccurring nightmares. The complaints stop when the dreamer is taken over by an intellect devourer. Oops. An inventor requests the character's insight into a pill-sized device she has extracted from her own body. As the characters examine it, the device projects a map into their minds and emits a telepathic call for help. The map leads to a mind flayer who wants to put the god brain out of its misery. So that's one of those revolutionary mind flayers we were talking about. Farmer hires the characters to protect his family, who he believes, without evidence, are being abducted and returned every night. The High Master Mind Flayer of Mount Crystal, the revolutionaries, seeks to claim all the god brain knows. To do this, he creates a copy of the apparatus. See Mordant later in the chapter. All it needs is a relic called the Rod of Rastinon, which it wants the characters to retrieve for it. Okay, let's see what Mordant We need the apparatus. Let's just... It can separate the soul from the living body. Translocate souls from one body to another, and otherwise manipulate substance of energy of spirits, both living and undead. Hopes the apparatus would send all spirits to their deserved rests. Ooh, but it has the opposite effect. Necromantic energy washes through the region, killing every living being in it. Perfect. Good item. So, return to Blootsburgh. Blootsburgh can be more chilling as a memory than as a new discovery. Use this section to create adventures that reveal impossible knowledge, hint at unremembered experiences, or take place as recollected adventures out of continuity with the campaign. Knowing that secrets lurk within one's own mind holds unique terror. When running adventures featuring hidden memories, consider how those memories might be revealed. Magical recovery. The mind flayers of Blootsburgh and the mists surrounding the domain employ methods similar to the Modify Memory spell to obscure victims' memories of their abduction, replacing them with hazy events or gaps of missing time. Oh, hey Balfunga, he probably gets better stat bonus for his int if he's doing psychic damage. Oh, that's true, yeah, he's got psychic damage, so that probably helps with his damage. But it just seems wasted, I would say. But I get what you mean. Definitely adds more damage. Character's true memories. That was back on the, what's it called? The Stars Spawn Emissary. Character's true memories can be restored by a remove curse or a greater restoration spell. Yeah, replacing them hazy events or gaps of missing time. A victim of the Mind Flayers might have endured dozens of memory modifications, each requiring its own magical removal, resulting in the recovery of a few traumatic memories at a time. Alienism. Scientifically curious lands in your campaign might feature burgeoning practitioners of alienism or... Spotlight, are you there?
Yeah.
Psychiatry. Alienism or psychiatry.
Okay.
You just can't trust those psychiatrists, man. That's something to put in the domains of dread now, psychiatrists. How does that make you feel? I can't trust you. Inexperienced practitioners of these disciplines will merge scientific treatments, spiritualism, magic, and hokum, yet still obtain results. I don't get why it says yet still obtain results when like 3 of those things are real in D&D and the 4th one is the closest thing to not being real. A session or series of sessions with a committed alienist might allow a character to remember a forgotten event. By the same token, though, time spent with a duplicitous alienist might leave a character vulnerable to suggestion and false memories. Such revelations can play out in your adventures narratively at any pace you desire. Oh my gosh, Flatline, I just love the idea that you, like, sit there and you're a wizard, and you're like, I have mastered all of Arcane! Yet I always go to Madame, to Madame Shasta. And he like goes over and throws down a platinum piece, and she like turns on the crystal orb and is like, I see! And the wizard's just sitting there. How does she do it? I can never see the flows of magic. Whenever I cast Detect Magic, I get nothing. What level are you? 20th. My scrying is nothing compared to Lady Shasta's. Gradual recovery. Lost memories might gradually reveal themselves in response to events and adventures. As the characters encounter evidence of Blootsburgh's mind flayers, Consider giving individuals access to information they should not logically possess, or granting them advantage on rolls related to their hidden memories, doled out as you deem appropriate. This might take the form of allowing the character to navigate an alien installation, operate an inscrutable device, or read an otherworldly language. Don't explain why your character gains these benefits, though, and let them make their own explanations to other characters. Lost memories might also take the form of dark gifts. Ooh! That would be funny, to suddenly get one of the dark gifts. Alien artifacts. The mind flayers of Bluetspur might leave evidence of their bizarre plots behind in other domains. Use the artifacts on the aberrant evidence table to provoke investigations, trigger lost memories, or even serve as mistalismans. It's a D6. The first one, a needle-like device buried under someone's skin. So I'm assuming they mean just like a needle, like a little pin, right? But my brain took the full syringe needle and was like, that's under their skin now. An inexplicable crater or circle of scorched crops. Perfect. Those should be everywhere. Some of them should have nothing to do with Blootsburgh. A stable full of exploded livestock. Okay. An anti... Yes! Oh my gosh, this book was worth it. Finally, they're telling people to use stuff like the antimatter rifle. Oh god. The antimatter rifle is so good! Flatline, have you seen the antimatter rifle?
No.
It does 6d8 necrotic damage.
Okay.
That's its, like, starting attack bonus. A missing person or otherworldly being transformed into a brain in the jar. Very cool. And the damaged corpse of a vampiric mind flayer. Interesting. Lost memories. Yep.
Who lost memories?
Hey, Huppy. Lost memories in D&D Beyond.
No one cares about that. Let's talk about who actually lost real memories.
No, we're talking about D&D right now. that's what today's show is about. You're on stream. When revealing lost memories, cultivate the disquiet that comes with vivid recollections out of sync with the character's history. The scenes on the suppressed memories table include deliberately disjointed specifics that you can adjust or leave incoherent as you please. Many can also be used as the first moments of a longer memory. If you'd like the memory to continue, ask the player of the character remembering the event what happens next. Interesting.
You need glasses, Matt.
Oh, I definitely need glasses. Yeah, they broke yesterday, so I'm getting them fixed today. But you know, this is happening before that, so zoomed in as much as I could. Memory.
You don't look the same without glasses.
I mean, I wear them like 24/7, so that makes sense. Memory 1. You are paralyzed on a cold table. Clicking sounds surrounding you. Pallid tentacles slither toward your face, each ending in gleaming surgical instruments. What are they trying to do? Some unfamiliar reflex moves your arm, looking to catch a glimpse of a bruise slithering beneath your skin. What do you do? These all end with, like, what do you do, don't they? What do you see ahead? What was the final word? Okay, so they're different. A many-legged ferret-like creature floats in your cell. You feel multitudes of unseen eyes upon you. What do your captors expect you to do with this? What do you do? I just love the idea. It's just like, here's a ferret. And they pull out like a clipboard and they're like, it's time to take notes. Rainbow storms. What was that?
Nothing, Matt.
Okay.
Nothing.
Sorry. Rainbow storms assail the heights of a mountain so tall it seems to curve over you. You are floating over a red wasteland, just one in a line of hovering beings. What do you see ahead? You knew a stranger. You were each other's comfort against fear and pain. Then they were taken away. What were their final words to you? Don't leave me, Jessup! Don't leave me! The figure hovering before you is deemed acceptable. They are lowered into a pit where pale, slug-like beings set upon them who float forward. Why are you deemed unacceptable? Ooh. Adventures out of time. The most effective way to reveal missing memories is to revisit them as an adventure. Players might run lower-level versions of their characters or use the survivors from Chapter 4 to represent their past selves. Or use the survivors from Chapter 4?
I never read chapter 4.
Same. Survivors. This, survivors don't possess class levels. You can make a survivor marginally more powerful by increasing its level. See the appropriate stat block, and then gain talents. So that's Apprentice, Disciple, Sneak, and Squire. They're in the following section. This is neat. Huh. Is this like their way of playing 0th level characters? Burning Hands and Firebolt. Dagger, but no... Dagger, Sleight of Hand, and Stealth, but no... Interesting. So this is... probably... I'm guessing that the whole point of this is when you want to play a horror game. So they just made, here's a low-level character that will never really grow to play in a horror game.
What?
Most horror adventures, your players will employ familiar, adventure-ready characters. That doesn't need to be the case. Instead, for short, low-power adventures, immersive retellings of tragic events, out-of-body experiences, or other unique tales, consider providing your players with temporary stand-in characters called survivors. This provides guidance for using survivors. Okay, 1 to 3 session adventures focused, so like a movie. Using survivors helps create horror experiences based on the dread inherent to having limited resources and facing impending doom without forcing players to risk their favorite characters. Interesting. So you can use survivors to represent the past selves, or characters might play forgotten versions of themselves, perhaps very different from who they are now, or individuals in the memories of another character. Run the adventure as an experience detached from your campaign's timeline, a flashback that relates the terrors of being a victim of the Mind Flayer's plots. Death likely doesn't mean much in these adventures, as characters somehow survived to remember their traumas, perhaps through miraculous Mind Flayer surgeries. However, developments in the past can provide all manner of revelations, potentially unveiling terrifying truths hidden within characters' own minds and bodies. Neat! Very cool. Next chapter. Borca.
What chapter is this?
This is Borca, the domain of desire and deceit.
You scared him away.
Scared who away?
Mr. Flat?
Oh no, poor Flatline. Apologies for scaring him off. So, Borca! Sweet-smelling poison, singed love letter, tarnished signet ring. Desire and deceit is this domain. Entangle a domain, a web of intrigues. Common folk scrape for survival. Domain's callous aristocrats distract for cruel diversions. Pittances of gold, power thrills, silver-tongued schemers, ambition to tempt innocence. So this is I guess like the worst of like what you can do with money and stuff like that. So this is like a power campaign section. So if you're interested in that for your kind of a thing, this might be a really big thing to go for. Dilisnya. Isn't Dilisnya... There might be another character named Dilisnya. This place is interesting that has 2 Dark Lords. One is Ivana Boritsi, and the childishly cruel stalker, Ivan Dilisnya. Interesting. 2 Dread Domain Lords. That I'm interested in looking into further. That's just the thing about how people will get crushed if they don't do what their betters tell them. Betters in really heavy quotes. Clearly, this is a hugely political, like, ability thing going on. What was that?
What?
I heard something and then.
Let's fight.
Hey, Fight.
Just curse for fun.
You're online, Fight. Just so you know.
Oh, that was quite an entrance.
And Mr. Flight's back, but hasn't spoken.
Hey, Flatline.
I apologize for cursing
That's
in such
okay.
a way.
No one expected better from you.
I had a Florida situation where I attempted to exit out the entrance of this Sam's Club because I was not a customer. I just delivered food to the front.
Dear God.
And
man.
I got in an argument with the lady, and I'm like, hey, like I just delivered food up front, you know, like I'm not like a customer, like, you know. She goes, no, you have to exit out the exit. I'm like, are you serious? She's like, yeah, you can't go that way through that door. And I'm like, oh my God. And she had no like malice with it. It was just very clearly, she was like, no, this is the go in door. The other door is the go out door. I'm like, but I'm parked on this side. Like,
So did you end up going that way?
yeah, I went out the exit.
We now know Fight's domain of dread.
I want to
A
just be
single
like,
solitary person standing there saying, no, the rule is this, you gotta go. You're like, man.
I'm like, it's a pointless rule, but you don't mean harm by it. Like, I don't know. If she wasn't like older and just like nicer or whatever about it, like if I felt like there was actually an attitude, I would have been like, you know, hell no, I do what I want. Like, what are you gonna do? You call the cops because I'm walking out the wrong door?
Oh, God.
Jeez.
Anyway,
Florida.
it's okay.
For America.
It's okay to follow the rules sometimes, Fight. It's okay to follow the rules sometimes. Let's see. Borca has powerful families, noble. Yeah, it's all nobles in politics in Borca. Fight, you'd love it here. It's all doing what someone else tells you to do. Borcan characters. Do you come from a noble family? Are they rich? Who have you hurt? Oh, okay, it just assumes that you've hurt people. You're just like, no, you hurt people. You definitely always hurt people. You've done someone a significant wrong. What was? I don't think that's. Let's see. Consider asking them these questions. Okay, so don't worry too much about it. Settlements and sites. Most of the people live in a small agricultural community. Yeah. So there must be. I believe I got a copy of Domains of Dread in Drive-Thru RPG, the old one. So, like, we're gonna see if Borca is there, and we'll go over the physical copy later, but not in the same format because I can't put it on to D&D. Or no, I have a PDF. I could possibly do that. Anyway, this is Borca. I like the bigger map, so... Mount Greesh, the Jester's Briar, the Dilisnya Estate. Okay, so that's on the eastern section. And then Sholomance. I've heard of Sholomance. But not the original Sholomance. The Sholomance I think I've heard of is from World of Warcraft. Do you guys remember Sholomance in World of Warcraft?
Scalo. I think it's Scalo.
Scholomance? Okay.
I've never heard it actually pronounced, so I'm not sure who's right.
Fair.
I
It
always heard
looks.
it as Gullo. Well, what?
I just say things the way I think that they're supposed to be said until I get the right way of doing it, and then I just say it the right way from then on. Except for sometimes things like with Japan, the right way of saying that is Nippon, but like everybody, for some reason, is wildly against saying it the way it's supposed to be said. I just leave that alone.
They say it that way. We say it the other way.
But that's not a good argument. Like it's
not.
called what it is, and we should call it what it is.
Better
if I tell
example.
you my name is Matthew, and you call me Marcus, it's weird. Like that's just the way it is.
No. What's weird is the fact that I know that humble bundle is how it's supposed to be said, but I repeatedly call it a humble bumble.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, there's like 15 or 20. So Borca's, I guess, pretty big. I want to compare it to Ravenloft, and on the map, it looks like it might be smaller than Ravenloft, but that 4-mile thing...
Skolomance. It's Skolomance.
It's Skolomance? Nice.
But I don't know if this person is correct. They say it's Skolomance. So, they say commonly misspelled words. It says Skolomance.
Wow! Barovia is tiny compared to this place. So the Barovian map is 1 mile per that on the bottom left, if you can see it, that amount. The Borca is like 4 miles for almost the same distance. Borca is huge! Those are like long, meandering roads. Those roads would take days to travel.
Or will it?
Probably.
Wait, what?
The roads in Borca. The Ruby Road takes forever to travel.
Or does it?
It does. It's like a thumb, so like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All like around 10, maybe 12 or 13. So like 44 miles from Sturban to Levkarest. There's got to be...
Well, if it's a well-paved road, it's a lot easier to go high speeds on via horse.
Like if we're trying to run a horse, yeah, but I'm just talking like if I need to go from Sturber to Levkarest.
Yeah, you'd use a horse.
I am not gonna breakneck a horse to get to Stepkarest.
I mean, you wouldn't need a breakneck. Horses at a good trot can probably get there in like half a day.
That might be true, but that's still a lot. Like I guess if I had the money for it, like this is a bunch of nobles, so maybe it's not as insane. But I was like, how much can a person walk in a day? I guess it's 4 miles an hour, so you'd almost be done by the end of the day. So it's like a long day's journey. That's not too long.
And it's also, remember, like a well-paved road is easier than forests. So.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so it's not that bad. Let's see, 60 feet per round, that's 6 seconds, so times 100 to get 60 minutes. So 60 times 100 is 6,000 feet. So that's like a mile an hour dashing. It's 5,280. So times 8 of those. 48,000 divided by 5,280. It's about 9. Something's wrong with my math, I'm sure. We'll figure it out later.
Your math is perfect.
I'll
Just
be right
like
back.
you are.
Thank you. Unpopular members of the noble family squabble in the halls of the People's Parliament, the land's ineffective seat of government. Perfect! true rulers conduct business in the offices of faceless mercantile adventurers and the back rooms of avant-garde clubs.
Just said a whole bunch of words I wasn't paying attention to.
Basically,
I don't think it made sense.
basically, all of the real power is done behind doors. Elaborate rivalries. Deity Ezra. Beg for the favor of the deity Ezra. Interesting. Which one is Ezra again? God Ezra. Which one is the god Ezra? Let's find out real quick.
I've never heard of the Ezra god.
Love and compassion.
Yeah.
Ezra is the god of love and compassion?
He's bullshitting you.
Oh, okay. Oh, come on. God of Mists! Oh, Ezra's the god of the mists. Yes, of course. Please, get us out of here! That's probably what 90% of the prayers are about. Is please help us leave Borca. New Ilven.
So what is Borca?
Awful. This is Borca. It's basically giant noble power structure land. You get a good look at the map?
Oh, I'm playing a league game, so.
Oh, okay, good. It's basically giant noble power structure land.
Is it in Blutland?
No. We're past Blootsburgh right now. We've come to Borca. Borca is like 4 times the size of Barovia. Still not as big as Blootsburgh, which is a continent. But there's only one location anybody cares about in the continent. So a series of noble families with estate names. Domain with 2 Dark Lords. Here we go. This is what I wanted to learn about.
Ah, who's the Lord of War?
Ivana Boritsi and Ivan Dilisnya are co-equal rulers of Borca. As they both committed depraved crimes in the same land at the same time, the dark powers gathered them both into the domains of dread. I'm gonna add my own note here, 'cause why not? You know, we're gods, we're bored. Generally, though, Ivana and Ivan have little to do with one another. Their homes occupy opposite ends of the domain, and their interests rarely overlap. That is, until suitably intriguing characters arrive. Ivana and Ivan are opposite sides of the same tarnished coin. Ivana fought for all she has and now loathes it. Ivan was given everything and believes he was denied what he deserves. Ivana is forced into society. Ivan thirsts for attention. Ivana appears perpetually youthful. Ivan bears the weight of ages.
Oh, he's ugly.
Oh! Age may be a number, but the ugly stick was rather cruel to this one. Ha ha! Although your adventures might focus on either Dark Lord, Borca presents the opportunity to explore multiple facets of arrogance, selfishness, and obsession. The characters might become the objects of both Dark Lord's interests. This could put them at the center of a rivalry between the two, or provide them with the unique opportunity to leverage one Dark Lord's power against the other. An adventure in Borca doesn't have to involve a conflict between the two Dark Lords, but if it does, consider putting the party at the center of it.
So basically, they're a divorced couple that is really, really bored.
Without the marriage or even vaguely being aware of each other. Because literally they live on opposite sides and they just do their own thing. They're just aware of each other because they're both... It's like, I'm not gonna say that, but I thought it. It's like being co-rulers of a place, but not because you know each other really well, because you both ruled your section really well, and then you met each other and you were like, oh, Well, I mean, I don't see why you can't just rule your shitty half and I rule my shitty half.
Nah, they're a divorced couple. That's my internal headcanon.
That sounds exactly how you would respond if you had a character in Borca. You'd be like, you'd say they're divorced, and then, knowing you flatline, and I apologize if this goes too far, would you try to set them up with other nobles or each other just to sate boredom in the campaign?
Sounds about right.
Yeah. I can imagine them sitting there and being like, but I hate him, and you'd be like Paige, who cares about that?
What about Stefan?
The firstborn of the fantastically wealthy Boritsi aristocrats, Ivana was clever, poised, and, in her father Klaus's eyes, utterly unfit to lead the family. Unwilling to accept her father's view, she spent her youth eschewing the dalliances of her kin, instead learning every aspect of her family's business in perfumes and medicinal herbs. Her mother, Camille, encouraged her daughter and tried to ensure that Ivana would one day lead the family. Ivana's focus on her goals faltered when she met Pieter, a skilled chemist in the family's service. From him, Ivana learned alchemy and the perfumer's art, and the two grew close. Camille recognized Ivana's budding romance and saw the low-born Pieter as a threat to Ivana's prospects. Camille thus seduced the young man and arranged for Ivana to discover them, intent on convincing her daughter to forsake this and all future romances.
Wait, her mom seduced her boyfriend?
That is the plan!
Not boyfriend, someone she was interested in. So it's not as fucked up.
They were growing close, so Camille sipped that in the butt, basically.
Hilarious.
Seduced and arranged for Ivana to discover, intent on convincing her daughter to forsake this and all future romances. Ivana took a different lesson from the experience. Shocker! Realizing the depths of her family's corruption, she poisoned her mother and her callous brothers with the goal of forcing Klaus to name her his heir. Oh!
I like the principle of that. Daughter, you cannot marry this lowborn man, but I love him, mother. I'll show you he's lowborn by fucking him.
Yeah.
That is a series of logic that some people go through.
And then she's like, well, my mom slept with my boyfriend, so I'm gonna kill my brothers.
Yeah. And the mom.
Oh yeah, that makes sense too. That part I get.
No, the mom was clearly being a good mother and taking her daughter lesson.
What do you mean? Wait, let's go back. Let's go back. You understand? Well, I guess I don't know. It seems like something that could happen, but it also seems like an overreaction, right?
I'm not gonna say, I believe she was correct.
Oh, okay. I thought I took it as that. I was like, whoa!
I understand where, from a psycho perspective, where that came from.
Right. Okay. So, creating and employing a series of aromatic toxins, she watched her siblings and treacherous mother sicken and die. None suspected her involvement. So she did this, like, over time. This woman did this! This woman did this!
What, the daughter poisoning people? I didn't pay attention.
Yeah.
She poisoned, yeah. I've got a picture of her. That's why I was saying this woman did this.
Oh, wait, I can alt that.
Ivana
she did
Boritsi
it
welcomes
repeatedly?
guests to the poisonous conservatories of Misericordia. This is her. This one right here. Who's got, yeah, she's like poisoned all over her body. Great. Okay, so none suspected her involvement, of course. She's just an excellent poisoner.
I mean, they didn't know she was a poisoner. They just knew she liked perfumes.
Hold on, let me check.
That, or they just believed she didn't have motive, because that's pretty much the norm in that family.
She learned alchemy. Alchemy, and you know what? Never mind. I suppose this is just paranoid Matt looking at the skills that an individual has and saying, based on that knowledge, it's probably this person.
Wait, can you show me her picture again?
Yeah.
Scroll
she's
up a little
here.
bit. Your face is blocking it.
Oh shoot. Boop, boop.
A little bit higher,
okay.
a little bit up.
It's going up.
But
Give
yeah.
it a sec.
Oh, yeah. I was so.
Okay, wait.
Show the mom now.
I don't think I have the
Got it.
Okay.
I just have her. Maybe that
Yeah,
statue in the background is the mom.
I will so cheat on that.
Which this is before or after knowing about the poisonings.
During the
Really?
poisoning.
It's awful.
No, but either way, it seems like that was the norm in that family, though. So
Yeah.
she should not have overreacted like that.
I don't know. A weird noble family.
It's
like
a
murder.
very weird noble family. So on Ivana's 18th birthday, the aged and ailing Klaus summoned her to his office to share a momentous decision. I wonder what he chose. I imagine he found some rando to do the job instead of her. Having lost his sons, Klaus named Ivana's cousin, Ivan Dilisnya, his heir. Ah! Okay, so they do know each other. Why did earlier they say they didn't know each other that well? He had already announced his decision to the estate staff and sent a messenger to inform the Dilisnyas. Ivana only laughed as a toxic mist poured across the Boritsi estate. Having expected her father's pettiness, she had manufactured a disaster that turned all the estate's perfume into poison. Drinking the antidote, she watched as Klaus and all the manor's workers and inhabitants died choking amid a violet fog. By the time the poison cleared, the land of Borca had become surrounded by the mists.
So cool place, huh?
So, what was she gonna do if he did give it to her?
Probably eventually burn it down, but in her own way.
No. Because she, laughed as the toxin happened. Like, she didn't push the button when he told her. She'd already pushed the button, is what I'm getting from that.
She's fucking crazy.
I suppose that's... I mean, she was right.
I
Wait,
mean,
what happened?
you know the definition of crazy isn't that they're correct, it's a response to correctness.
I don't know, dude. You think everyone that does something like that is crazy?
She poisoned the entire town!
Yeah.
It does
For a
cause a
reason.
negative... I think it's a negative enough event in her life. I think it hinders her from living her true life. I could say that.
She's just like... Yeah, you know she's just gonna be like, damn it, this townsfolk didn't pay taxes. Well...
They deserve
the
this.
village.
That's wild. Anyway, Ivana's powers and her dominion. Ivana appears to be a young human woman with statistics similar to a spy. Since her arrival in the land of mists, her blood has been tainted with poison, and angry red and black veins visibly show through her pale skin. While this discoloration is unignorable, the toxins grant her immunity to poison damage and being poisoned. Her genius and ambition define her manipulations. Alchemical innovator. By spending one uninterrupted hour within her laboratory at the Boritsi estate, Ivana can create 10 doses of any poison to recreate the effect of one wizard spell of 7th level or lower. She keeps a variety of poisons on hand at all times. See Intrigue in Borca later for details on how she uses alchemy in her manipulations. 7th level spells and below as potions? That means she can make at least simulacra and a whole lot more. That's really cool.
As cool as you are.
Aw, thank you. Callous genius. Her genius and cynicism, in combination with the Dark Power's aid, grant her insight into the nature of Borca's people that borders on precognition. She's always one step ahead of her rivals, and has prepared the perfect situation, stand-in, or poison accordingly. However, she has a facile understanding of true love and companionship, so those who behave in an unexpectedly selfless manner might undermine her elaborate contingencies. Okay, so she's entirely focused on you're going to act for yourself. There is no question. Ivana delights...
I like the fact that basically it's entirely her reason the other guy is trapped there too.
Well, we haven't gotten to his section yet.
Okay.
It says they both deserve it. It says all the people are stuck there, yes. So you're very right. It's always all the people are stuck there, but the Domain of Dreads know what they're doing. Gardens of Evil. Ivana delights in her gardens, both the exotic conservatories within the Boritsi estate and the flower fields surrounding her manor. She has created innumerable unique plants, as well as plant creatures with strange abilities and unflagging loyalty to her. So cool, this is a good chance to pull out the plant monsters and create an entire mansion full of plant monsters that look really fine until you anger her, and then just like it starts overrunning everything. That's really cool, I think.
I get it.
Tyrant.
But, I'll still cheat on her. She ain't that pretty.
We didn't question that. We're not trying to convince you otherwise on your decision, sorry. Tyrant Maker.
I don't think I even like her as a person, really.
What was it? What got you to this point? Maybe she can change for the better.
But the fact that she was kind of honestly irrational, like that was, I think, the family norm of just being assholes to each other, basically.
It is a town of power and nobility and only political maneuvering. Tyrant Maker. Ivana's ambition drives her to take on any challenge. She reflexively seeks political and financial control over all of Borca, and casually manipulates the domain's noble families into destroying one another. Closing the borders. Ivana can choose to close or open Borca's borders once per day. She rarely closes the borders, as her manipulations typically prevent her victims from leaving anywhere. She might open or close the borders to confound the whims of her co-Dark Lord Ivan, though. When she does close Borca's borders, the mists rise as a wall of acrid chemicals that affect creatures as detailed in the Mists section at the start of this chapter. I guess we'll have to check that out. Start of this chapter.
I take back what I said. She's pretty cool.
You're good with her just kind of messing with people's heads?
Yes.
Ooh.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I still wouldn't date her.
You'd be like a friend.
Yes.
She'd like do things and see like, I did this today, and you'd be like, excellent.
Should put another
Mists.
easy access.
Rolling disturbances with haze, menacing silhouettes, or others. So I guess it's this, where the mists make constitution saving throws or gain exhaustion until you die. That's powerful. That's 6 rounds to death, unless you're good at con saves. Ivana's Torment. Here we go. Ivana conquered her rivals, yet still suffers. The following circumstances endlessly torment the Dark Lord. 1. Ivana has not aged since the mists claimed Borca, and her youthful appearance leads many to underestimate her. What, because she's 18? Okay. Ivana rules her family's business and political empire brilliantly. Despite this, she is endlessly doubted and second-guessed. Many believe she's a typical, vacant noble youth, or the puppet of her elder cousin, Ivan Dilisnya. Why?
That
Ivana's...
sounds like there's a loophole somewhere that they didn't discuss.
We'll figure it out. I mean, they talked a bit about it. This all seems like things that's like a personal problem for her. Maybe it's just like the way she acts around people makes you think that's how she is.
Like she's ditzy?
Not that she is ditzy, but that the way she talks makes you think she's ditzy, if that makes sense.
Oh, like a valley girl?
Sure, or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. There's a role-playing section on her, so that's good. Ivana's genius and refinement lead her to grow swiftly bored of most potential allies and rivals. She ever seeks her equal in intellect and ambition, and she is ever disappointed. Maintaining her family's vast array of social expectations is especially tedious. Why does she care about her family's social expectations when she killed all of them?
Yeah, that's expected. This is weird.
Sounds like she's creating her own problems for a lot of these.
She's her own self-enemy.
Yep.
We need to help her, Matt.
I'm down for that. Who wants to DM that? We'll help Ivana. I don't know how, but we'll do it. Ivana never found her father's will and knows that should it fall into the wrong hands, her depraved cousin Ivan could claim all she's earned. She'll do anything to prevent this. Poor Pieter. He probably has the will. They named him for some reason. He's got to be in here as something to talk to. Role-playing Ivana. Ivana Boritsi's exceptional mind and remarkable senses of hearing, taste, and smell inform her elevated fancies and expansive knowledge of art, food, fashion, social protocols, alchemy, and perfume. Few people can hold her attention, and none can redeem themselves in her eyes from even a moment's boorishness. Personality trait. I am perfect, and no one else understands the strain and expectation that comes with being the best at everything. Ideal. One day, I will find someone worth my time. Everyone else is boring at best. Bond. Only my plants and formulas never disappoint me. Flaw. It is insulting to think I haven't anticipated every possible outcome. She's a spy?
But why do people underestimate her? I think that she's...
Probably because that's how she acts all the time. Is speaking as if she's like very knowledgeable about everything. And so you're just kind of like, I know for a fact you don't know everything, so... Like, if you were... If you were a standard adventurer and you hung around her for like more than 5 minutes, you'd basically go like, why is this noble just talking about perfumes and stuff? This is boring. You know what I mean? Like, there are dragons to kill. Also, if we're using the spy stats, her int is like 12. There are way smarter people out there. I think it's supposed to be she looks like she's a spy, but she's actually got way higher stats. I wish they would give a stat breakdown for her or something. Whoa! I'm gonna have to figure that out a little bit.
I do... So what do spies excel at then? What, Dex or something?
Oh yeah, high dex.
And charm?
Yeah, dex, charisma. Because that way nobody knows what they're doing, and then they have a bunch of skills. I've got the thing up if you want to see it. They're like deception, insight, investigation, perception, persuasion, sleight of hand, stealth. Everything is about manipulating the world and getting what you need in a stealthy manner.
I mean, but then, like, okay, so her personality traits that you mentioned did not explain why people would underestimate her.
I would say if I were to roleplay Ivana, in order to make people look down on her, I'd have to... I think I would say that because she is doing her family's expectations as everything, I think she never... Roll for arcane knowledge. Your opinion is wrong. Ha! Thank you, helping me out. I think for her, if I were role playing her, I would play her as she is still acting as if she is the daughter of the head of the Boritsi family, and not acting as the head in all of her conversations. Do you know what I mean by that?
Kind of. But
Because her big thing is, she says, like, her big thing is the social protocol, I think. And I would say that probably what's happened is she knows all the social protocol of how to be the daughter of a noble. But that does not mean that she understands fully the social protocol of being, I'm the boss. And so you can react to people, but you don't see, but they aren't seeing it the way that you're trying to, like, portray yourself.
Well, wait, I might have only been paying half attention, so I might be wrong on what we are talking about, and I apologize if I'm saying something completely incorrect. Isn't the entire point of this land that they are sort of incapable of growing as people?
That's true, yes.
We're not people.
We are streaming, by the way, AJ. Matt is streaming D&D.
D&D content. Best content.
Oh.
So, isn't the point that she always saw herself as the most deserving and the best and the greatest, but deep down she can't accept any fault that she wasn't, and she never got over that?
That's true, especially with the way that if she believes she's the best and the greatest, why would Pietro leave her?
Yeah, like that. She's obsessed about, because that is her flaw, is that she doesn't want it to, go away. Like she's afraid that everything she worked for is going to be turned to dust.
Yeah, that's fair. Because there is that will, and she's afraid about the will. So there's that, and there is also, I would say, maybe the mists do a little bit of magic in the background, so that anybody that she talks to is quietly nudged towards, thinking of her as more of a child than anything else. I don't know if the mists specifically stop them.
I mean, she might act like a kid.
Yeah.
Like, she might act like an 18-year-old that just doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
But is actually very wise, but also, at the same time, is impulsive and thinks they know everything, which is sort of par the course for an 18-year-old.
Yeah. But yeah, it's very interesting. I would say, with the Domains of Dread part, I don't think they, lock you in position. I think they just lock your domain, and then no matter what you do, they, mess with you. Because I think the whole point is you are free to, at any moment, give in and become a better person. But, that's a decision you have to make, and they specifically pick people who are so lost in their psychic trauma that
they
they're
never
not...
will.
Yeah, they'll never do that.
Yeah.
You would need to fix some of these people. I would almost argue that you would need a 20th level adventurer who is just more powerful than them in raw ability to just force them to stop doing things. Somehow fight them and try to do something. And even that will probably work all that way.
I will be right back. I'm gonna get half of the bagel. Yeah.
Hey, Psycho Taku, how you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
Doing good. If you want to see the stream over in Beep Boop, I put the links.
Okay. Take a look in a second.
Yeah. Make sure to turn off your audio, though, because you'll be hearing me in stereo, and it'll mess with your brain.
What?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I just mute your stream when I'm watching it.
Yeah, that's what I was telling him to do. So yeah, now we're on to Ivan Dilisnya, we've gone through Ivana and her life, which is much more involved in Ivan's than the book earlier suggested. I suppose since it's a faraway cousin, that kind of makes sense when they said, but still, it feels like it's more connected than they suggested. So,
I would love it if Ivan was like, Ivan was a socialite who loved helping people, but he once didn't help an old lady cross the street. And that's why he belongs in the Shadowlands.
Totally. It's officially canon.
I would love a Domain of Dread where the entire village is like, it's like a sprawling city and everyone's happy and everything's wonderful, except like there's like little minor problems. Like there's still like not quite full homelessness. Like everyone has 3 meals a day, but there are people living on the street. But they still have like bedding somehow. Like they've got these nice big comforters and things like that, but they just don't have like a home. And so you just got this guy who's standing there all day and he's like, what do I do? And then you just go outside and it's like birds are chirping and everyone's happy. And then this one room looks awful.
You know how it's always like one dark evil lord and a bunch of innocent villagers?
Yeah. Just make it the opposite?
Yeah!
Let's go with the opposite. I like that.
Like, what if it was just a village of evil cultists and a good lord who didn't know and was trying to help them?
Too much.
Very
I can
nice.
get behind that.
Alright, so Ivan Dilisnya. The Dilisnya family maintains a tradition of treachery. Good start! The land of Borca originates from the same world as Barovia's conquerors. The Von Zareviches and Dilisnyas were present at Castle Ravenloft the night of Strahd von Zarevich's transformation. Great! Ages later, the siblings Boris and Camille Dilisnya each plotted to steal the prestige of their cousins. The Boritsis... Camille manipulated her way into the Boritsi family while Boris prepared his son Ivan to be the new head of a united Boritsi-Dilisnya line. Despite abundant opportunities to excel, Ivan grew to embody childish vice and impulsiveness, with his family's wealth and doting servants exacerbating these whims. Frequent accidents, in heavy quotes, transpired around Ivan, forcing his family to cover up the maimings and deaths of numerous pets and servants. This is not good. Only Ivan's sister, Christina, was exempt from his bullying and wicked tricks. Over time, Christina proved precocious and eager to learn. Ivan, however, became stubbornly obsessed with childish toys and behaviors. He encouraged his sister to indulge his idealized visions of their childhood, going so far as to affect childlike behaviors and ways of speaking. Although his family members grew increasingly unsettled, they sheltered the future head of their house, reshaping their estate and investing it in whimsical diversions for him.
So wait. He basically convinced his sister for them to always live as children?
Yep.
Oh, that's like a cool level of sadistic. I like that.
Yeah, he encouraged his sister to indulge his idealized visions of their childhood, going so far as to affect childlike behaviors and ways of speaking. Okay. On the night that Ivana Boritsi poisoned her family, Ivan learned of his parents' intention to send Christina to a prestigious boarding school. Oh, good. Screams, cruel cackling, and clockwork screeching filled the Dilisnya estate that night. When it ended, Ivan was the last living member of the Dilisnya family, and the mists closed in around Borca.
Oh, what happened to his sister?
I don't know, but this is the picture for him.
Wait 1 second. Oh my
Does not look like a
god.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get the stream up.
That's him? Okay.
Sure.
I mean, it may not be him, but that's the picture they've put right after his intro paragraph.
There we go. Starting to load.
Lots of metal bits.
Seriously, that does not look like a child.
You know,
Well, I thought it was just he's trying to mentally be a child.
It's in the heart.
Yeah.
It's in the heart. Ivan Dilisnya in his favorite clockwork pram. Isn't a pram like a thing for babies?
I think so, but I don't know enough about prams or that word. I feel like I've heard that word before, but
No. Ivan's powers and domain. Ivan is not a physically or magically powerful Dark Lord. He is an extremely old man, but supernaturally, he remains as physically fit as he was in the prime of life and has the statistics of a human noble.
I call bullshit with that picture. I call fucking bullshit with that picture.
Well, it
Magic.
says supernaturally. So, like,
Yeah,
he'll raise up his little weak-looking arm and then grab you with the strength of a man in his 20s, and you'll be like, what happened? And then he'll rip you down. I would boost his strength pretty high. I would supernaturally make him a lot stronger. But the point is he's not supposed to be all that great. So question there, though, is they said he was the heir. Are we saying this 50, 80, 90-year-old man was the heir? Meaning that his dad was like 15 or 16 years old?
He might have aged unnaturally.
Maybe, yeah. His menace manifests in the form of psychological manipulation, making others doubt reality and causing victims to overestimate his control. Cursed correspondence. Ivan loathes leaving his estate, for some reason, but the Dark Powers have granted him the ability to have his letters delivered anywhere he pleases. See Intrigue in Borca later in this section for details on Ivan's letters. What was her thing? Did she get the same power, Ivana? Alchemical innovator. Yeah, she got a different power. Hers was she could make her magic stuff. These guys, I know it says noble and spy, but honestly, I would just slap a bunch of artificer levels on both of them and call it a day.
Spy is poison. Spy has poison.
Spy has poison, but artificer alchemist would do it really well too, and and they're really big on saying she's an alchemist. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I mean, she's just a spy that liked alchemy.
But she can make 7th level spells. That's like a 20th level alchemist right there. In fact, I don't even think an alchemist can reach 7th level spells, which makes it all the more impressive. Anyway. But you can... You want Spy and Noble because they're easy to kill, don't you, Flatline?
I feel like it fits their theme, but honestly, she is kind of a serial mad bomber, so I think Alchemist would fit her.
I mean, the only reason I question Spy and Noble, I question Spy and Noble because it doesn't seem to fit with their actual suite of powers. But like, you gotta remember, like, this puts them at like 10 HP each. So like, any PC worth their salt gets one shot, these guys are down. Like, these people should never meet the PCs in, like, physical form. Because otherwise... Oh, boy. Like, Strahd at least had, like, 170 HP from being a vampire.
Yeah, this is very true.
Anyway, also, like, Ivana, she can at least, she can use the 7th level spell potion to make a simulacrum like that. And then she could use that simulacrum and go talk to the party, and then the simulacrum dies. I
mean, the other guy can write letters forever. Like,
yeah.
I imagine this is less like if you get to them. Like, for him, it's less. So for me, not every fight is they themselves are the big bad. It's getting to them in their lair of death.
True. Yes.
Because like, she probably has a billion poison deadly trap canisters linked up, and he probably has manipulated 1,000 different people. So like, you know, it's their flunky bosses. Like, if you can get to them, you kind of already won. But getting to them is the 9th level challenge.
That's true. Also, Help a New Bout has said that yes, a pram is like a baby carriage. Thank you very much, Help a New Bout, for confirming. So yeah, that's very true. Manipulative actor. One of
Be back
Ivan's.
later.
Hmm?
See
Oh,
you
see you guys. Have a good one. Manipulative actor. One of Ivan's favorite manipulations is using his letters and his high-pitched voice to pretend to be a lonely youngster.
That
This
just sounds
body
so wrong.
can speak like this.
That's kind of terrifying, but okay.
Ivan keeps out of sight from those he targets for deception, so they don't realize the discordance between his childlike affectations and his appearance. If forced to reveal his aged form, he pretends to be confused and employs elaborate clockwork toys, disguises, and conveyances that further mask his true abilities. Okay. Toy maker. The dark powers provide Ivan with any toy he desires. Like the Blinskies! I think it's the Blinksy, right?
What?
It's from Ravenloft! Not Ravenloft, it's from, where are you? Barovia! Where is he? Where is that little guy? Is it Blinksy or Blinsky?
Just describe it to me.
It's a man who makes
Oh.
toys.
Oh, okay.
Blinsky. Blinsky's toys. Yep, it's just a dude who makes toys. There he is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Little cool monkey man.
Yep. His name is Gedolf Blinsky, and that is his little, I have no idea, baboon? Yeah, his pet monkey using the baboon stat block, Piccolo. I like the, I'm not sure if I want Ivan to be able to get Blinsky toys, and so that's like the one thing he keeps asking the party for is like, get me a Blinsky toy.
It's me Blinsky toy.
Which sends them to Barovia. The horror.
Kind of amazing, actually.
The horror of being with Stradzon Zarevich, and he's like, why are you here? And they're like, we're here to gather for our lord, Ivan. What's his name? Ivan,
Argabarg.
Ivan Dilisnya. We are here to gather for Ivan Dilisnya a Blinsky toy. You fought werewolves to get here. Yes.
Just yes.
Just give us the fucking toy, man.
Strahd's like, well, I have a quest for you. And everyone looks at each other. What? You must find my dear Katarina, I think is her name. There's this party sitting there.
And that's the point when the party decided to attack Strahd.
just out of hand. Dark powers provide Ivan with any toy he desires. Creatures of many sorts will serve Ivan, and any of them, from maids to monstrous guardians, could be clockwork devices or stuffed toys. I love the horror of this, because you could have a maid attack the party, and they destroy her, and she's, of course, a clockwork device, and they're like, okay, cool. These are clockwork devices. They're not people. It's fine. And then they just, like, walk out the hallway, see a maid, throw a hatchet, and then just boom, dead, blood everywhere. They're just like,
okay. I had a character like that. I actually had a PC like that. He used in place of Fey spirits. He used little toys that attacked and ripped people to shreds, but he served Krampus. And so half of Krampus's servants were toys looking like people, and half of them were people. And so there was a lot of horrible realization when those people either broke down or when those people were just butchered and not they thought they were toys. It was amazing.
Additional fun thing you can do, because Ivan's thing is all about the psychological manipulation, if they go back to check on the first body, it could suddenly be a dead person with a bunch of blood coming out of them. And then when they go back to the hallway, that one's a robot now, just for them to have no idea what's happening anymore.
That's perfect mindfuckery.
Most likely the party's response to that is going to be, we just need to kill everything and stop caring. Just that's how most parties, I think, would react to that. Just like, all right, weapons out, let's just keep moving. Don't care anymore.
Or a paladin that's gonna have an existential crisis.
It's true. So, oh my god, and it could be clockwork devices or stuffed toys, so let them somehow circle back into those rooms after like an hour, and then it's just stuffing, and like obviously she's not like a real maid, she's like a stuffed toy maid now, and they just have to be like, this is the stupidest world we've ever been in.
And then the toys are made of flesh.
Exactly. Oh my god.
Yeah, literally stitched together flesh.
Like what was the bear is now not just stitched together flesh, but some of them are like real. So like a teddy bear you killed is now like a baby cub bear, and then you hear the roar of the mother, and she's just obviously a clockwork flesh abomination.
Yeah.
This does not change the creature's statistics and is revealed only in dramatic moments. I don't know why they're saying this, but as the DM, I think the answer to that is you're doing whatever you want to mess with the party at this point. Who cares about this dramatic moments thing? You pick what happens when.
What book is this guy in?
This guy's in the new book, the one where I got the Reborn from, Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft.
You missed Bluetspur, AJ.
Oh, you missed Blutspur. Blutspur is awesome.
I'll take a look in the book. I got the book.
Oh, perfect, yeah. It's all mind flayers.
Of course. That's the end of everything. Praise the mind flayer.
Anyway, individuals the characters have known for years might be revealed as Ivan's toys. That would be hilarious to have a campaign where you've been fighting Ivana for like months, and then you finally kill her, and it's revealed to be one of Ivan's toys.
Isn't that just the plot of Mary Shaw?
The big thing is that Ivana is still alive, and for daring to attack her mansion, she then sends her actual forces at you, and so now you're being attacked from both sides.
Oh, God.
Matt, even better, the PCs get captured by him and knocked out and separated, and midway through the campaign, you find out that some of the PCs have been replaced by toys.
Oh, that works especially well when you use hit points as the near miss mechanic rather than the damage mechanic, because then you can just say, like, you're able to dodge just barely out of the way. You keep saying that, but like tell them their hit points are getting lower and lower and lower, and then finally when a real hit happens, you get to say, and he drops to the floor with this white fluff coming out of his chest, and he just drops and collapses.
You'd need to definitely have those players on board and have a good idea set up, but that would really fuck with the rest of the party so nicely.
Yeah.
Kind of love that.
Absolutely.
I mean, anything to fuck with the party. It's just how it is.
Yeah, there's actually a whole section in Ben Richten's guide about you have to sit down with the party beforehand and say, guys, this is horror. What is on and off the table?
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah. And then you get that scene from what was it, Brooklyn 909?
99?
Yeah, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, where the cop who's been undercover too long is like, you can hit me, bite me, scratch, put a bullet in my chest.
I don't even care anymore, man.
Yep. So, Wicked Wonderland. The Dilisnya estate, de Gravo, is a confusing tangle of topiary gardens, hedge mazes, and neglected petting zoos that abut sheer cliffs. The topiary gardens is a good opportunity to do the Dilisnya thing in a switcheroo, where instead of he's made a copy of Ivana, Ivana has messed with his topiary gardens, so when the party enters, they get in a horrible hallucination zone, and when they finally think they've killed Dilisnya, it's just a plant in her topiary garden. And then Ivan gets pissed at them for destroying one of his toys, one of his things. Oh, that's good.
God.
This is how you run a. This is how you tell the party that nothing they do matters.
Yeah, pretty much at that
Yeah.
point.
I mean, that's kind of what Borca's
I'll be
kind
right
of.
back.
I think Borca's like this. Like that's the whole point of Borca. Neglected petting zoos, and that abuts your cliffs. I like that it's a neglected petting zoo, so you can walk by and you see like a single sad goat just looking you in the eyes. You're like, little goat, are you okay? And it shakes its head, no.
It's not okay. I haven't been okay since the war.
You take care of the goat, and the party starts to like the goat, turns it into their like little mascot companion. Goat dies one day. Turns out he was a clockwork goat the whole
Whole party is clockwork.
time. And they have to kill themselves.
Yep.
Mansion lies at the heart of the estate and is divided into multiple structures, including the Laughing House, which is, of course, a playhouse where life-size toys enact brutal operas. Well, at least Ivan didn't have real people doing them.
I gotta say, Ivan is creepy as hell, and I love him.
It's so interesting. Like, Ivana's whole thing is about what she does to the world outside. Ivan's whole thing is about how messed up his interior decorating his house is.
Yeah, Ivan is creepy as hell.
Oh, man.
They did some damn good work with Ivan.
There's also Ivan's Playroom, a wing of the house dedicated to the master of the estate's clockwork tinkering and private decadences. Ivan will tempt victims into his home, where they gradually realize they're trapped in a funhouse of childish grotesqueries. Those unable to escape are eventually forced to don the ludicrous livery of the Dilisnya household staff and become Ivan's new servants. Oh my god. Remember that thing where I talked about how the maids try to kill you? Also have
Yeah.
all of them ask for help. Whether they
Yeah.
turned out to be stuffed toys, humans, or clockwork. Oh. Either asking for help or various states of, like, the trauma of being stuck here. Ivan can close or open Borca's borders once per day. He closes them to prevent those he is obsessing over from escaping. When he closes the borders, the mists rise as detailed in the mist section at the start of this chapter. Additionally, the fog will be filled with Ivan's taunting voice and patrolled by grim clockwork toys. I'm just thinking of, like, the Nutcracker soldiers, like, walking in the mists and just pulling up a gun and firing it at you as Ivan screams, he's, come back, I want you so badly.
I think Ivan is probably way creepier than
Ivana is more threatening. Ivan is creepier, I think, is
Yeah.
where I'm at right now. Like, I feel Ivan, if I had a PC in the game, I feel that I would be scared of Ivan, but I could also really just want to kill him. I feel
Ivan
that
is
if I
fine
knew,
until he's obsessed with you. The other
yeah,
chick is deadly all around.
yeah, like if I know if I know kind of what's going on as I'm in that situation with Ivan, my response is I need to escape. That will require getting Ivana's help, or that will require killing Ivan. I'm gonna try to kill Ivan. Like,
What happens if you kill a Shadow Lord? Do they just come back?
there has to be a new one,
Ah,
and it has to be a certain kind of person. They cannot be a servant of the domain of dread already, is my understanding.
okay.
And they have to
No,
be powerful.
I thought Strahd was one of the exceptions to that.
I don't know. I heard about how Strahd in one campaign died, and they replaced him with his like not girlfriend, but this woman who kind of became obsessed with him, and then like took over the realm afterwards.
Not so much that, it's just the fact that even if you kill Strahd, like, he always, something's keeping him completely tethered no matter what.
Yeah, that might be true. And that might be a thing for all of them. That might be in the rules earlier, because I kind of skipped over sections to get to what I thought was the more interesting stuff.
How dare you?
Oh, every day. Why do you think I, as a PC, act the way I act? But yeah, let's assume that Ivan will come back. What is important to me in that moment is just getting the mist to open long enough for me to leave. And I can, if Ivan is into me, it's time to kill him. If Ivana's just like, I don't want to bother trying to fight her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that feels like a losing battle. It's better to have Ivana say, "I'm starting to bore of you," and just respond with, "Then I can go, no problem. See you later." So, since the night the mists took Borca, Ivan rarely leaves the Dilisnya estate. The following circumstances endlessly torment him. You know, if he was this old, it's really sad that Ivana could have probably just waited 3 years for him to die. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Ivan is alone, and the solitude terrifies him. He was given everything, destroyed it all, and doesn't know how to live. He endlessly creates fawning, fake family from clockwork creations to distract him from his solitude. Ivan resents Ivana Boritsi, his closest relative, for having the power he was groomed for, but he also views her as his only peer and as a potential replacement for his sister. Oh, he killed her. Good to know.
Wait, how?
Remember that thing where they were going to send her away, and then that night there was a bunch of horrible clockwork sounds?
Oh, he didn't want her to go away, right?
Yeah. So he probably killed her. Ivana, however, avoids him at all costs. I wonder why. Could you guys think of a reason why she would do that?
Yeah.
Well, it's beyond me. Ivan looks like a fantastically unkempt old man, a state he believes he has no control over. That's interesting. And that grows more pronounced daily. He thinks Ivana keeps the secret of her eternal youth from him. What a wonderful family. Role-playing Ivan. Ivan demands to be the center of attention while remaining deeply suspicious of the world beyond DeGravo. With his family gone, he coaxes guests to come to his house to indulge in a perverse mixture of fabulous decadence and his off-putting, childish whims. Ivan delights in his guests' discomfort and in forcing them to entertain him. Personality trait: the world exists only to bring me pleasure. Ideal: I never want to be bored or alone again. Bond: my possessions are mine to do with as I please. I decide their fate. Flaw: I break whatever bores me. At least a broken toy is unique.
I kind of like the fact that the woman is like fucked up, but Ivar is really fucked.
Yeah. It's the lack of being able to hold a conversation. You know?
Yeah.
That's what I think is the main difference between the two of them. Adventures in Borca. Borca provides opportunities for political intrigue. Blah, 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 blah. I'm looking for stuff on. Ooh, Elite School of Magic, home to the Rainmaker Society, which controls Borcan politics. A noble asks the characters to protect their sibling from a mysterious assassin. The killer is Nastalia Romaine, whose blood was replaced with poison by Ivana Boritsi. Great. Young noble befriends characters. Huh? What was that?
That sounds legit.
Yep. Introduces them to the fabulously amoral Lev Karest club scene. By the night's end, a character is accused of murder. Perfect. Half the village in Leone is arrested by the Arrhenius masked judge Ranziska and charged before Sturban's faceless court. Remaining villagers beseech party to defend their families in court. Perfect.
Oh, that's cool.
The eligible noble Vladimir Nobriskov hosts a contest for his effect. Oh, this is going to end poorly. Participants turn up murdered, victims of Nobriskov's lycanthropic hunger. Ah!
Sounds legit.
A book collecting noble seeks the party's help to find a rare text called Revelations of the Prince of Twilight, a tome said to teach the reader to tap into the hidden power of their shadow. The Okratire family offers a sizable bounty for anyone who can capture the Lake Balar beast, which has escaped from the estate's oceanarium. I thought it would be in a lake, but no. No, it can walk on land, and it escaped
it
the
was
ocean.
in a lake, and then they caught it
And then
into their sea world.
it left.
Yeah, just left. It kind of.
Like the Ren and Stimpy horse, it said, "No, sir, I do not like this." Members of the Olmist Inquisition accuse the characters of crimes they haven't yet committed. They'll relent only if the characters undertake a mission against the priests of Osiris. I would love if the DM is able to set up the crimes that the party hasn't yet committed as the things they have to do to get the mission against the priest of Osiris done.
What is a priest of Osiris? Also, yes, that would be fantastic.
That's how I would run it.
Yep. Party just sits there at the end and is like, I hate everything about this. Necromancers of deep evil, the priests of Osiris steal the souls of others to fuel the priest's malevolent magic. Using soul power, each priest can defy death and become an undead creature, potentially cheating the grave over and over again. Oh yeah, that's their ability. They have a tattoo, and they get a boon of undeath, and as long as they have a boon, if they die... Oh, no, it's if they die and they receive a copy of a boon they already have. No. Priest dies and receives a boon it already has. If the priest receives a new boon, it revives at the start of its next turn with half its hit points restored and is now undead.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, and there's 3 or 4 different types of priests. It was founded centuries ago by Osiris, mysterious figure of unfathomable ambition and evil. Osiris sought to use other souls as springboards to his own immortality. He forged pacts with an entity that would give him more power and delved into any eldritch secret that would prolong his life. He became a devotee of the dark powers and tapped into their immortal malice to fuel his apotheosis. As power grew, attracted disciples, wished to defy life and death. He shared his dread secrets with them, demanded their worship. So he basically did the god thing. He became a lich of almost godly power. Acknowledging the role that his disciples played, he gifted them with a trace of his power. What a nice guy! That's,
Yeah.
I mean, he's awful, but that. Most evil dictator overlords wouldn't even do that.
Right? I mean, it's like, hey, you guys helped me get here. So guess what? Here's like a 1/1000th of my power. Have fun.
Taking the form of a shadowy tattoo, this allows them to steal souls and cheat death and become undead. Oh, okay, no. I don't think he actually gave them power, now that I read what he did. The boon lets priests steal souls as their master did. Guess where their souls probably go? Who's got a guess?
Master.
Is it Osiris? It's a pyramid scheme.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily. I mean, it's kind of a pyramid scheme, but they actually get something of it.
They get like 3 extra lives.
That is way better than most every pyramid scheme.
I like
Right?
but let's let's how much HP do these guys have? They have 60 hit points.
If you said, if Herbalife came in and said, hey, we're gonna give you 3 extra lives and temporary immortality, I'm pretty sure it would be legit.
I don't know. Let's see how many extra lives it is fully.
Even 1, that is better than most pyramid schemes. That is a steal.
Is it better than most D&D pyramid schemes though?
How many pyramid schemes are there?
They're like all of them.
No, there are bad deals, but there are not a lot of pyramid schemes.
I'm being facetious here, but if you do not see the rest of your party as the bottom half of your pyramid scheme, I don't know what you're doing with D&D.
Okay, well, we have functionally different opinions on the team gameplay then.
Oh. As I said, I was being facetious, but that is how I see not all of D&D, but like the gods in general. Like, it's a pyramid scheme, and in exchange you get the ability to res people all the time, you know?
Not a pyramid scheme. That's 2 ways. That the pyramid involves multiple. In fact, I don't even think this is a pyramid scheme, because this is only 2. There's 2 layers. You need at least 3.
Minions, all of his minions. I would say the angels underneath the gods, those are minions. They need soul power. They're like the mid-range. So like it's all going up to him.
Okay.
Anyway, the threat posed by Osiris and his disciples raised alarms far and wide. In response, the Ulmist Inquisition and the then mortal Count Strahd von Zarevich faced the Lich in battle. Their bravery would have been for naught if Osiris's disciples hadn't betrayed him. Ouch. Fearing that their master would eventually consume their souls, rightly, I would say!
Yeah.
The disciples aided Osiris's foes and destroyed his physical form. As he perished, he uttered a curse upon them that their immortality would fail them when they least expected it, and that he himself would become one of the dark powers. As a result of that curse, a priest of Osiris can't be certain that they will be reborn when they perish. Oh, he gave them infinite re-lives. And then they betrayed it and eat.
But Infinite realized that maybe will eventually not relive.
No. That was when they betrayed him. When they betrayed him, he made it might not work. But before, he just gave them infinite relives. Very cool. In an effort to rid themselves of this curse, they devote themselves to the same dark powers with whom their master has communed. What?
That's hilarious.
They were given a mission. Provide a person of nobility and might to serve as an earthly vessel for these powers to enter the world and conquer it. If they succeeded, their immortality would be assured. A suitable vessel they did then find, Strahd von Zarevich. Working in shadows and through intermediaries, the priests whispered hatred to the Count. And when his noble heart was corrupted, they were the ones who laid the path before him that led to the Amber Temple, his fall into vacancy. But then, they were betrayed. Osiris had not lied. He had become one of the dark powers, and he and the other dark powers had conjured up a misty prison to contain the newly immortal Strahd, thereby preventing the Count from serving as the conquering force that the priests sought to loose upon the world. Thus they were denied their reward of immortality.
Wow, that is a successful curse. Like, wait, can you imagine? It's like, I'm gonna curse you by giving me $1 billion so I can sue you in the future. Like, that is basically what he did.
Oh, that's good.
Some good backstabbing right there.
I like this Osiris character. Never want to get on his bad side, never want to meet him, but I like his style.
He fucking said that he would
He would become the Dark Power.
as his curse. That is an insane curse. Just like, I am going to curse you by getting me laid.
That didn't
What?
work.
Oh my god.
How does that work? Doesn't matter. I'm gonna get laid,
Laid.
and then I'm gonna slap you in the future.
Yep,
Slap you with a 50-pound bag of rocks.
yep. To this day, the priests of Osiris seek to unleash Strahd from the mists, often using adventurers as their pawns. They also ironically bear their hated founder's name, for they know it is his original deathly gift that gives them their horrific powers.
I cannot get over that curse. That is insane.
When a priest drops to 0, they might revive with a benefit from this boon table. It's a d6. You can give the priest one or more of these boons of your choice before they face the adventurers. If they do so, the priest is undead rather than humanoid, and a priest can receive each boon only once. And each of these are, they give him something special to do.
What kind of fucking curse is that? I can't get over that curse. I can't.
Yep. It's a good
Like-
curse.
It just
High quality would do again.
it's not even work. That is the most successful curse I have ever heard of.
The best part is it's the levels of how much he made it into I will not be affected by your betrayal.
Yeah, just
As you kill me, know this. I curse you to see the day that I come back, stronger than ever, and dash your dreams into the dust. Also, your powers no longer work.
Oh, also gonna totally nail a super bottle. Part of the curse.
Yep.
I kind of imagine it's less that he was cursing them, and it was more something that he was planning on doing anyway.
I mean,
Is it-
I wouldn't put it past that.
It also sounds a little bit like one of those things where he was telling them beforehand. He's like, you guys are going to love it. When we finish this final battle, I'm going to reveal the big plan. And they're like, the big plan? And he's like, yeah, big, huge plan. I've been keeping it from you guys for years, ever since the very beginning. And they're like, what? Because in their mind, we were done. And now they're like, oh God, what if he's going to
In his mind, giant pizza party.
Yeah, I'm going to become a dark power. You guys are all going to be lower level angel things of the dark power. It's going to be great. And they're like, he's going to kill us all, man. You saw what he did to Frank. Frank was a traitor. Here, exactly. So he's just standing there at the end and he's like, He's like, Strahd, you've brought forward this army, the Almost Inquisition. Nothing can beat me. Now I'm going to give my big speech, and I'm going to complete the magic ritual. And his people are like, we need to betray him right now. And so he's like halfway through this speech when they like do it, and he's like, what? No, you fucking idiots! What are you doing?
You go!
And he doesn't even tell. He doesn't even like. It would be so great if he didn't even curse them. He's just like, no, this was to make me a dark power. You're all going to get more powerful. No, now I need to. Okay, I can no longer give you guys immortality because you fucked everything up. He like rips the power from them, and they're like, no, this is all his fault. And he's like, I don't know what's going on. Oh god. So there's a bunch of nobles of Borca, bunch of houses. Each one is different. Let's see. The Nobisgravs, which are pious and formal, are all lycanthropes. Good. So this is just a constant, like, everything's awful. The Ivliskovas run dozens of orphanages and the elite Ivliskova finishing school. This boarding school boasts a flawless graduation rate for those students who don't disappear. Perfect. This sounds like a fun campaign to hang out in because it has enough stuff that you don't even need to talk to the Dark Lords.
Yeah.
You could make an entire campaign about being like orphans inside the finishing school. What's funny about that is you just need to get a C. I mean, it's a finishing school, so I doubt they have grades, but you know what I mean? Like, you just need to pass. So those are cool. Bankers and landlords. To 10 is track debts across the domain. Deal with every family except Olzeniks, with whom they maintain a generations-old feud. Metalworkers obsessed over war. Every success is a conquest. No Olzenik has ever seen battle in national service. Okay. Some ready accomplices. Some requests. Lethal leverage. Ivana's intrigues. We're gonna stop here and we'll start back up. Oh! Help a new bout said something. Why not have the dude curse the players to keep working for him? Oh yeah, that's actually talked about here in the coup de grace. Coup de grace. Once the aforementioned noble has gained leverage over the party, they might make all sorts of demands. It's then up to the characters whether to obey or find a way to escape the noble's schemes. This might even be the point where the noble reveals that they've been an agent of Ivana or Ivan all along. So yeah, that can totally work. That could totally work, help a noob out. But yeah, we're going to stop here at Ivana's intrigues because it is 12:07. We've gone a bit over time. Tomorrow will be no stream on my part. I'm just going to kind of take the day off and do whatever. And then next week we're doing more stuff. Monday was magic. I might do magic again, but now that I have the things and it's just grinding, like I've hit that wall that I talked about way back so many episodes ago, that I'm just like, that's not quite the thing to go for right now. But we'll see what's going on. And we're definitely going to do more D&D because I'm really loving doing this. This is awesome. Anyway, hope everyone out there has a great one. I'll talk to you guys all later. There's also a Twitter. It's at Savant75. There's the Twitch, obviously. There's a YouTube channel. Also, follow. I'm trying to get to 50 for that affiliate requirement thing. The music, one last time, stopped partway through again, but that was Mark Vandermeulen, and it's all horror. It was all royalty-free horror stuff. That's why I'm using it. Hope everyone has a great one. Bye.